Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. We're gonna get back into this 395xp today and see if we can get the exhaust roof raised on it and reshaped. Oh man, we done went and got high tech up in the saw shop. How do you guys like that thrift store fireplace? Actually works really well in this little building. Alright guys, today's task at hand, like we previously mentioned, is we're gonna rework this exhaust roof. I'm going to raise it up a few degrees. I think we're going to give up, 40, 50, 60 psi of the static compression we have. And I'll be brutally honest with you guys. Normally cranking this saw with the decomp, which you guys know the Husky saws, the decomps work a lot better than the steel saws, because it's not up here, it's kind of down in the side of the cylinder, kind of down lower. They work better because of being there, and to be brutally honest, this saw's not as hard to start as you would think. Or for me, it's not that hard to start when using the decomp. It just, mainly the fear of it grenading with that high of compression, and the fact that the tune-up kind of goes crazy. We talked about that. It's not real bad, but you either have to let the saw sit and cool off or retune it a little bit once it gets up to full operating temperature, and well, it kind of gets aggravating. I did have a brand new base gasket, but it's not one of the thick gaskets. This saw had like the thicker gasket that, I don't know, I think it's like, it looks like it's like a metal center to it. But we're going to put this on. I'm going to check squish and see where everything's at, but I'm willing to bet this gasket's too thin and I end up using that one anyway. And I could just ditch the gasket and machine some off the top of the piston, but I don't want to make that piston any weaker than it already is. Alright guys, let's check squish, and please ignore the dog barking in the background. I don't know what's going on. I've been out there. Something has them pissed off. I think we're good with that gasket. Tempted to check it without a gasket, kind of wondering why I had one in it if it's that loose with like a 16 thousandths gasket, which is what that is. Okay guys, we got 24 thousandths, which is probably about right where I would have set that at, 24, 25, so maybe that gasket's not any thicker than the one I stuck in there, but I've not checked it with the caliper, but it sure as heck feels like it would be. Let's see. That might be the smart, intelligent thing to do. It's an 18 thousandths gasket, guys. I would have thought that thing with the metal center and the coating on it would have been thicker, but I guess not. I guess that's what we stuck in there as a highway gasket, which was probably about the same thickness. So this is a thin ringed piston. That's fine. It's double thin rings, which means it's a 1.2 millimeter ring. They're really easy to move once you put them in there to make a mark. If it's the single 1.5 millimeter, they seem to hold up fairly decent, but that is what we're doing here at the moment. And I'm going to actually bolt the cylinder down just snugly, just so we get a pretty decent reading. And I'm going to set back up the piston, or spin the crankshaft backwards or forwards, or however, it really doesn't matter. Until those rings are at the desired port timing opening that I'm after. I think we're going to start and draw a line around 100 and go from there. One of the strongest 660s I've ever built and ran, and the gentleman that purchased it said the same thing. I'm not tooting my own horn there. The saw ran really good. I've built some others that ran good, but not as good as that one. But anyway, it had an exhaust roof of 100. Alright, so hopefully I don't get in the view of the camera or kick it over or something. She's upside down right now. Let's turn it on. We get BDC or 0. I'm going to back that up to right around 100. I had thoughts of going as far as 96, but if I draw a line at 100, it gives me leeway for error if something chips or Just work your way up to it slow. Alright, let's take this back off and see where we're at. I set it right at 100. We end up a little higher than that, it'll be alright. I thought about taking it as far as 96, but I don't know. That's a big bulky looking piston. It might be alright, who knows, but that's putting a lot of faith in the Chinese hardware in this saw. A lot of faith. I've spun some of the aftermarket 372s up pretty high and they do okay, but we're talking 2mm more on the stroke here, so let's see how far that's got us moving. Quite a bit. Good 50 thou, which is about right, 45, 50 thou to move it that far. So what we'll do is we'll draw us a line there and we'll go raise the exhaust port up. Alright guys, hopefully y'all can see the line I've got drawn in there. That's where we're going to move it to. Alright guys, she's mostly roughed in, so what I've got now, you guys know I love these cartridge rolls. There's a lot of you have picked up on it. Lots of places to get them. This is by the whole kit from Summit Racing. Usually when I widen the exhaust port, and people are going to disagree with this and whatever, they're welcome to, but you can port the whole port with these. Run them slow, they're aggressive, but I find a roll that's about the size of the shape that I want for the sides of my exhaust port. Looking pretty good. She's a lot higher, a little wider. I didn't go crazy with it. Alright guys, I've got the base gasket in. Alright, see where we're at. I'm looking for anything close to 100. If it's a little more, if it's a little less, we just fine. I really don't want to screw with it anymore. Port's looking really nice. Well, we have 101. Okay guys, I'm going to check that out ray of light for you guys. A lot of people like to see that. I love the feeler gauge because it's just consistent and accurate for me. That's the least little sliver of light. I wouldn't even call that all the way open. And you know what? It's about dead accurate to what I'm getting with that feeler gauge. So I don't know if you guys can see it through that or not, but if not, I'm sorry. You'll just have to take my word on it. But maybe you could see something. All right, guys. Well, I had intentions of raising that roof a little bit further than it's at, but come on 100 to 101, are we really going to tell that much of a difference? And I originally had thoughts of going like 96, 126, 84, making a 20-inch bar saw, small firewood, small timber. It would have been fun, but this setup, you know, with the 28 on it still, or even a 20, a 101 roof will truck up there pretty good. You don't have to have a 96, 98 roof, turn high RPMs. There's a lot more goes into it. Is it really high, really wide roof capable of higher RPMs? Yes, it is. But again, there's more goes into it. This saw was no slouch before. Anybody that's seen it said, hey, that thing's strong, that saw's a beast. It ran good, ran strong, but it had tuning issues as why I didn't really run it a lot. And you know, with the decomp, it really wasn't that bad to crank over. Would probably still be hard to some people, but to me it wasn't that bad. But I think what I'm doing with the saw, I'm going to like it a lot better. I'm thinking putting the transfers all around at 126. They were like at 129 last night when I checked them, I think. So it won't take much at all to move them that far. I can probably do it just with a diamond abrasive. I might work the lowers a little bit more. There's some things about them I'm looking at I don't like, and I typically don't get that on cylinders here lately, but I think we can make some improvements there on those. I'm not going to hog them the hell out or anything, but I think we'll mess with them a little bit, and that's probably what we'll do in the next video. We'll get into the uppers and the lowers, and I swear I just don't think I'm going to do much of anything with the intake port. I think 162 degrees of total open time for this application's fine. Like I said in the last video, there's other saws I wouldn't want that on. Although I do have a couple of 660s out there, 066s that are running that, and they're just fine. I don't know where people come up with these rules. You can't go past this, you can't do that. There's a little more to do with it than just the duration on that one port, but we'll save all that for the next video. We'll get into that, working the transfers, and maybe get the thing buttoned back up and at least get it fired up. But till then, as always, you guys stay warm, stay safe, have a good day.